Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 9488, Samurai Mech from the LEGO Ninjago theme. This is a set from 2012 which contains 452 pieces, 3 minifigures, and retails for $39.99 in the US. Even though I collected Ninjago in 2012, this is one of the sets I actually never got. I got it this year for Christmas, and I have to say, it made me so happy to finally get this set. Nia's Samurai Mech was such a big part of Season 1 of the show, and that's like what I grew up with, so finally having this in hand was awesome. And it might just be the nostalgia talking, but honestly, I'm really impressed by how this set is done. First off, it's a super cool design for the legs. They feel very mechanical, especially like this area right here. From the back, it looks a little odd. From the back or sides, it looks a little odd, but from the front, it looks really good and like super unique in terms of the shaping. There's a couple weird things on the back that are just indicative of the fact that this is an old set. You can see there's like these exposed anti-studs right here. Just putting a plate right there to cover those up, they make this set sturdier, and those would like feel a lot more covered up, which is weird. Same with these pieces right here. There's also a bit of awkwardness back here with these exposed studs right here and these exposed anti-studs right here. I think this is just indicative though of like it was 2012. They built things differently back then. They weren't as like strict about covering things up like they are today, so that's to be expected. And honestly, it's very easy to modify. I like these little canisters in the back right here too. It really feels like a homemade mech that Nia would actually build, and it looks exactly like it does in the show. Like genuinely, this might be one of Ninjago's best mechs just because it is just so unique. But I think that's about the gist of what I'm going to show you from this far away, so let me pick the camera up, move in a little closer so you can see the more intricate details. Here's like the legs up close, and all I can say about this is they feel really stylized. Like this really does feel like a samurai mech. I know obviously Nia is Samurai X, she controls this mech, but they actually put like a whole samurai design throughout the entire mech, and I think that's really cool how they managed to do it and actually make it like a functional toy as well. So you can see like these plated knee pads right here and the wide feet. Coming up to the hips area, you can see that there's these like curved pieces right here. These are meant to represent sort of like cloth that like drapes over the legs, and I think that makes this feel a little more organic, like it feels like an actual mech and less of a toy, and I think that's really cool. This is also quite similar to what they do on Zane's Titan mech from this year, so that's pretty impressive that like they're using a similar technique nowadays. They're meant to drape over the legs just like this, but the entire torso can be rotated, so if you have it rotated a little bit, for example like that, you can have this drape behind the leg and this one like drape over top of it. It's really cool, and again makes it feel a lot more organic. The center like chest symbol design is genuinely just iconic, and I don't use that word lightly. Like this is very recognizable to me. You have Nia's symbol in the middle and then like the golden like spinner top encircling it. That looks so cool, and it is like so representative of what Samurai X is to me. More things to represent like cloth or like chainmail armor hanging down right here. Those are super cool, and again gives it that like samurai feel. I love the combination of red and dark red being used throughout this. It just really gives it like extra dimension. It's such a cool look, genuinely. Like I love this so much. The helmet, too, just looks like a samurai helmet. You can see the two, like, golden horns coming out, and I like the rounded shape of it. This can be rotated up just like this to access the cockpit. And then this area right here can be moved down as well. Nia's right in here. You can remove her just like that. The cockpit itself is very simple. There's no like little console or anything, and Nia just stands in there, but that's very indicative of what 2012 was. And again, that's very easy to modify if you want to add like a little steering wheel or console for her to like control the mech with. These shoulder blades use like the front guards of trains. I always thought that was super cool parts usage, and I still think that to this day. It works really well, and it like feels very samurai-like, but it's really cool that they use an existing part to do that. They use ball joints on the arms right here. This right here is sort of like a bionicle piece, I believe. And then they use the brick built ball joint system for the hand. This hand on this side has cheese slopes in dark red and gold to create a little bit of texture. And then the fingers themselves are individually movable, right? You can have them like ball up into a fist like that. You can have them come out. This hand has claws on the ends of the fingers, and I think that's cool, so that like this even in and of itself can be a weapon. And the other arm is quite similar. You have the cheese slopes right there, and then you have the hands up here, except instead of having the claws, it has a sword in the hand. And that sword can very easily be removed. Just open up the fingers like that, and you can pull the sword out. It's just connected with the Technic pin. And there's what the sword looks like disconnected from the mech. Moving up to the top, there's a little flag with a stickered piece with some symbols on it. This was before the Ninjago language, so I'm not sure what that says, and I don't think we can translate it. It might be like in an actual language, but I don't know that either. You also have this little like water cannon on the side. This is purely imaginary, but you can imagine it shoots out water or lasers or whatnot, but it's blue. I think that's cool. And it's kind of funny because Nia eventually became the water ninja. This wasn't a hint. She wasn't intended to be back then, but it's cool that that's included here. And this side has just like the classic like pirates cannon piece. This is very simple. If you've never seen it before, you just put a 1x1 cone in here. Unfortunately, I do not have one with me right now, but you just put one in there, and then you could pull back on it just like this, and then you let go and it flies out, so it actually works as an actual cannon. I think that's really cool. It's a quite impressive mechanism that they fit it all into here, and I think it's really fun for like kids playing with this set. Moving on to the side build in the set, it's just this little catapult right here. This is an incredibly simple build, and you may notice, hey, it doesn't come with like anything to shoot out of the catapult, right? Like, what are you supposed to catapult out? Well, you were supposed to catapult out snakes. Put a snake in here, you press down right here. Goodbye, snake. Here are the three figures in this set. We have Samurai X or Nia, we have Baitar, and we have Snike. All three of these guys have some level of exclusivity to them. Samurai X and Baitar both come in one other set. Samurai X came in a spinner and Baitar came in a booster pack. However, the spinners and booster packs were not around for very long. Like, a lot of them would disappear off shelves after a couple months, so this was like the only consistent way to get these two figures was in this set. But Snike here, interestingly, is exclusive to this set. He is the only one of the original Serpentine, besides the Generals, to never get a booster pack or a spinner. So it makes this guy actually really unique, so it's super cool that I got this set because I actually got a second of this. I bought this guy by himself a few years ago when I was trying to complete my Serpentine collection, so now I'm one of the few people who actually has multiples of this figure since he only comes in one set, this set. But exclusivity aside, how are they? How are these figures? Well, here is the classic Samurai X. A lot of people don't like this one as much as like the modern ones, and honestly, I do really like this. It might just be nostalgia talking, but I really like this design. The gunmetal gray for like the kendo armor looks cool, and I love like the silver helmet and like the mouth guard and everything. And the flat red underneath honestly looks good with like the dark red printing and the gold. Baitar here is super funny. He reminds me of Nelson from The Simpsons, but I think he's a super fun design. I love the orange spikes on his head and how he's got one eye scratched out, right? That one's normal, but then the eye on that side's like completely ruined. The gray arms look nice, and I like the bright orange in the torso. All the Snakes are super funny looking, and Baitar here is no exception. I do really like him. And then Snake, as I said, is interestingly exclusive here. I like the gray head and the black printing on the torso, very similar to Chokan, but he's got a minifigure head with the Snappa like headdress piece. All the Snakes have really fun and creative designs. I like how he has black instead of like the gray that Chokan has on his torso, and then he's just got the Constricti like earth cracks coming all throughout. Here these two figures are with obstructions removed so you can better look at their torso and face prints. Nia's face print is very similar to just her 2011 face print where it's just like a fairly neutral expression. And her torso print, while it's going to be covered up most of the time, is fairly good. I don't think it looks great without the like armor over top of it, but with the armor over top it does look good. There's a better look at Baitar's torso as well as Snake's. I like this little like white patch on the top of Snake's head. I think that's cute. And then turning these three around, there is everybody's back torso prints as well as Nia's alternate face. Nia's alternate face is like very angry. This was actually the second Ninjago minifigure, or third Ninjago minifigure ever to have an alternate face. The only other ones were 2011 Nia and 2012 Lloyd. So that is interesting to see here that she has one, but she's just got like this really angry expression, and you can see her back torso print with her symbol on it. There's Baitar's back torso print. It's got like just plain black in the area where his head's going to cover it up, so that way they're not like wasting printing, which is actually pretty interesting that they do that because they don't do that nowadays. And then there's Snake's back torso print. It looks very similar to his front torso print, and again, you can put this over top of it to cover up some of it. So as a whole, what do I think of this set? Honestly, I adore it. I absolutely love this set. I'll admit, a lot of it is probably nostalgia talking. I grew up with Season 1 in Ninjago, and I always saw this set on shelves, but never had the money for it. So finally having it, I'm super happy, but honestly, it does not disappoint. It's a fairly good mech by today's standards. Like, no, it doesn't have the knees like Zane's Titan mech has, but it honestly looks really good, and is one of the most creative mech designs LEGO's ever done. I love the train shoulder pads, I love the big feet, and I just love the way, like, the entire thing looks like a giant samurai, which is quite impressive. Minifigure selection's excellent too. Like, as I said, if you didn't buy, like, all the spinners, this is the only way to get Nia and Baitar, and no matter what, this is the only way to get Snake. And this was only $40 when it came out, which was an excellent price. So as a whole, yeah, I absolutely love this set. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO and Ninjago videos like this every single day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!